Anda kembali lagi di Prime Words dan saat ini kami masih bersama dengan Duta Besar Prancis untuk Indonesia, His Excellency Olivier Chambard. Okay, Ambassador, moving on to the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that France was hit quite badly by the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic with around 500 cases per day. But we also know that France has loosened up the restrictions for the COVID-19. So what is the main reason behind this?
Well, the Omicron wave has now reached its peak in France, and after a sharp increase, we are seeing a sharp decrease, which is typical of the Omicron wave. And the second characteristic is that Omicron, although very contagious, is less deadly. And during this wave, our hospital system, our health system, was not as badly affected than it was during the previous waves. So now that we are seeing the end of the tunnel in France for Omicron, and in France and globally in Europe, we are beginning to relax the regulation to make life more easy to the French people.
Okay, so does this mean that maybe France has successfully combated or maybe managed and controlled the COVID-19 cases in the country?
Well, I think all countries were confronted to this crisis, and it was very difficult to manage it because we had no precedent on that. So every country had its own way, but at the end of the day, I think in France, the correct decisions were taken, managing the day-to-day lives of the people, the sanitary preoccupations, and of course also the economic preoccupations. And even if it's still could be considered as a severe blow, because we had a bit more than 150,000 deaths for the whole COVID-19 pandemic. We are quite confident now that this is the end, or in a few weeks, and that life will start normally again. And I think that the same tendency will be seen in Indonesia, with a sharp increase and hopefully a sharp decrease quite soon.
Okay, and still regarding the restrictions, will also maybe France decided to loosen up the travel restrictions for foreigners?
Yes, the travel restrictions were based on a color code from affecting other countries. You have red countries, green countries, orange countries. Indonesia, since a few weeks, has been considered as a green country. Maybe it will go back to orange because of the surge of Omicron, but it's a very temporary thing. And progressively, we are relaxing the entrance of foreigners into France. There is no quarantine for the moment. It depends, of course, which kind of vaccine you have, if you have a vaccine recognized in the European Union.
Okay, so you're confident that we're entering the end of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, of course, maybe I'm taking a risk in saying that, being too optimistic, and I'm not a scientific. But everything so far is pointing in the direction of an easing and, if not a disappearance of COVID-19, at least the coming back to a normal way of life.
Okay, moving on.
But we still have to be prudent.
Okay, and still quite careful as well, yeah? Okay, moving on, Ambassador. Last year we saw a significant growth of the France GDP with around 7%, or the highest in 52 years. So what contributed the most to this economic recovery?
Of course, in 2020, the shock was very hard on the French economy, as it was on all the economies in the world. The rebound of the French economy with 7%, and we have good forecasts for this year, is due perhaps to the fact that we managed to invest a lot of government money in the economy, helping the French people, and especially the most affected, who were in an a difficult economic situation. All the tourism sector, the shops, which were forced to close for several months. The French government helped them by reducing the taxes or giving some allowances. And apart from that, at the European level, there was a decision to put 750 billion euros in recovery all over Europe. And France is having also its own national recovery plan with 100 billion euros dedicated to recovery and investment in key sectors. And among these 100 millions, a large part also, 40 billion, is coming from the European plan. So I think we reacted quite quickly, preserving the life of the French people and also investing in the rebound, which is here now.
Okay, so all together have contributed to a strong economic growth and recovery for France, Ambassador.
Yeah, the national policies, the national faculty of adaptation, and also being part of Europe, which was also very reactive and being quick to give an economic response.
Okay. Ambassador, moving on, we know that Indonesia is hosting the G20 presidency this year, and the motto here is to recover together and also stronger together. So is there any cooperation between France and other countries, maybe especially Indonesia, to maybe achieve this target together?
Yes, well, first of all, the motto that you mentioned for Indonesian presidency is completely in accordance to our vision of what the G20 must do in this very particular situation, helping countries, and not only the G20, but G20 countries being the engine of recovery all around the world. So this recovering, putting an emphasis on the fight against climate change, the opportunities given by renewable energies, the health sector, also a priority which has to be given to developing countries. All those priorities are clearly the right ones, and France is clearly ready and is helping Indonesia in its presidency, because we are really completely in accordance with the Pak Jokowi's priorities.
We're currently building the whole ecosystem for electric vehicles or EVs. So how does France see maybe the potential of investment in terms of the electric vehicles industry?
There's a great potential. France is present in the nickel production here with a French company, Eramet. We are looking at it very closely because it's the future for the automotive industry. So France is keen not to miss this opportunity.